Hello and welcome back once again to After the Credits. So, as I said at the end of the last review of 2016, whatever movie that was, it's been a little while since then and I'm blanking out on what movie it even was that I went to see. I had mentioned that after that movie I was going to go see another movie, but I ended up getting kind of tired and just didn't really care about this movie that much, so I kind of pushed it off. Anyway, it's the start of the new year, and I went back to see it anyway because it's still fresh in the theaters. It came out right at the end of 2016. I just didn't get a chance to see it before the end of the year list. So here it is, a week later, and now you're going to get to see my thoughts on it. So today's movie is Sing. So Sing is the newest CGI animated film from Illumination, I believe, which I had to think for a minute. I was like, okay, I know we have DreamWorks, we have Pixar. Who is Illumination? And I was thinking, and finally I realized it's the people behind Despicable Me and the Minions. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this could be interesting because I sort of like Despicable Me, but at the same time, that standalone Minions film was just kind of eh. So let's give it a shot, see what it's about. I know it's about singing anthropomorphic animals, but that's all I really knew about it. So we go into the story, and it's not an uncommon story, but it's something you haven't seen for a while, at least I haven't. It's basically about this guy, or this koala bear, who sees a theater performance when he's really young, and his dream is to be in show business. So his dad saves up money for years and years and years to allow his son to be able to buy this theater, this studio, and put on all these performances. So he sets up all the plays and everything himself, and performances are there. It's all his ideas. He puts all the money behind it, hires all the people and everything, and he just hasn't had a hit. He's been doing this for a few years, and he's just to the point where he hasn't made back any of the money he's sunk into all the stuff that he's doing, and he's to the point where he's kind of bankrupt. He's dodging the bank, he's dodging creditors, he's dodging just about everything he can dodge. The people who worked on the last show haven't been paid, their checks bounced. So it's just him kind of trying to balance everything, and he's basically at rock bottom, and he's kind of that mentality of, well, once you're at rock bottom, the only place left to go is up. Well, no, the rock bottom could cave in, you could fall even deeper. Which is kind of what this movie is. He thinks he's at his lowest point, and throughout the course of the movie, things just go from bad to worse, and he ends up sinking even lower. So basically the whole thing kind of falls around, he wants to put on another show, which is going to be a singing competition. And he wants to give out prize money. But he can't get any of his normal endorsers to put up any type of prize money, so he manages to round up $1,000 on his own, and he tells his secretary, go ahead and print out a flyer saying, there's a singing competition, top prize $1,000. Well, she accidentally hits a couple extra zeros on there, and people think it's $100,000, so he has tons of people showing up, because the flyers got sent out before he was able to review them and say, no, there's an error here, don't put these out, which you may have seen in the preview, they get blown out the window by the fan. So they're all blowing around the neighborhood. Tons of people show up, audition for him. He selects 6 or 8 people or something like that are going to be the final contestants for the show. And he's kind of hiding the fact that he doesn't actually have the prize money. He's hoping that once the show goes forward and his investors see that people are into the show, that they'll go ahead and provide the money, even though it should have been there from the start. So he's kind of scamming and pulling the wool over people's eyes and whatnot, but he trusts in this show so much, he thinks this one's going to be his big break. So throughout the course of it, at first, everything's kind of going good, but then a couple of the singers that are in the competition end up in some trouble, and it ends up kind of destroying the entire show. All of the potential investors back out, and he's just kind of in ruins now, so he's back to washing windows like his dad did to try to make ends meet. Then it kind of takes a turn of all the contestants that were in the show. They're like, look, we don't really care about the prize money. It would have been nice and all, but we want to get out there and show people what we're capable of. We've been told for so long that we can't make anything of ourselves. You gave us the opportunity to show that we can, and we want to go out there and do it whether there's prize money or not. So they all band together and kind of rebuild the show with whatever they can find. And they have the opening night, and at first there's nobody there. As time progresses, people start showing up and showing up and showing up, and they put on this show for no prize money whatsoever, and it brings in a lot of people. Spoilers, by the way, I'm telling you the ending. It brings in a lot of people, the investors come back, and they remodel and reopen the theater, and it just kind of has that whole vibe of how these movies play out. You know, it's the guy's down on his luck, he thinks the only place I can go is up, ends up falling harder, and has his new friends that he's met along the way lift him back up and help him rebuild who he was. And, I mean, you kind of know how it's going to play out without even me spoiling the ending for you. I didn't really spoil a whole lot. But if you know kids' movies, it's going to end the same way. Like I said, there are other movies that end similarly. What's the name of that movie? Hamlet 2, I think was the name of the movie, where the guy wants to put on a performance of the show that he wrote called Hamlet 2. And it gets to the point where he can't financially put it on, and then the people who were cast in the show are like, let's just do it anyway, screw the money. So there's that. Vaguely the plot and the producers. I haven't seen the producers in forever, so I'm only sort of remembering that, like they wrote the crappiest play they could, or the crappiest musical they could, just to have it fail so they can collect the insurance money, and then it ends up being successful or whatever. So, you know, it's not a movie I haven't seen before, but it's showing that movie finally to a child audience by doing it through the anthropomorphic animals and using modern songs and whatnot. So overall, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I kind of thought it was going to be kind of schlock and just not interesting or whatever. The only real down part I see to it is the final finale of everyone singing went on a little bit long. They got to a point where they got down to the last person. I'm like, okay, they should have ended it right there, because one of the characters did the song My Way by Frank Sinatra, and it seemed like that would have been the best place to end it. Like, hey, here's the end of the night. You know, we did what we did, and we did it our way, and that would have been a great message to end on. But then it comes out that, hey, we still have one more contestant. Here she is, and she sings like a 5-minute song, bringing the house down, and, you know, that was supposed to be the whole thing, was it was her character opening up because she was the shy one who wanted to sing but failed the audition, but then kind of came back as a stagehand. And then it turned out they were short an act, and he's like, well, hey, you auditioned before, here's your chance, go out there and sing. And brings the house down. But at the same time, it felt like it should have ended on the previous song. I mean, they still could have wrapped up the movie with everything they did after that. It's just her song wasn't necessary. The only thing I could have saw fixing it was following her song if they all would have came out together and did a song together. But that wasn't what it was. It was just each act did their own song, and then that's it. That's the end of the night. So again, ending a show like that where everyone's only going to do one song, you would end it on a song like My Way, where you go out on a somber note instead of having that somber note and then jumping back into the party. You know, it's just an odd mix right there, and I felt that should have maybe been reversed, like had the guy who sang My Way sing something else and then had her sing My Way, kind of dedicated to the producer who saw something in her and let her go out there and sing it. They did it their way. I just feel it would have been a better thing to end the whole night on, but at the same time, it worked. Like I said, it just ran a little bit long at that point. You're like, okay, that was a good wrap. Oh, there's still more. Overall, wasn't bad. Was better than I thought it was going to be, but wasn't great either. It was better than Minions, I'll give it that. But overall, what would I give as far as a star rating? I guess a 3. I mean, like I said, I was going into it expecting it to be like a 2 or a 1. And it actually surprised me by not being that bad, but at the same time, it's something I've seen before, just in a different aspect this time, to where a younger audience can experience those older classics. But it just kind of drug on a little bit at certain points. So yeah, I give it a 3, just middle of the road. If you like Illumination films, if you like Despicable Me or The Minions or anything like that, check it out. It's similar to their other work. If you like things like Zootopia, kind of that same world, just not the cops and mystery aspect that Zootopia was, which was done by a different studio. But yeah, it's a 3. Check it out if it sounds interesting. If not, don't. I don't care. Anyway, so that's it for this episode. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Links are down there in the description. Click the bell up there in the corner. Make sure you're getting updates every time I post new content. And until next time, we'll see you after the credits.